11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
We are live at noon tracking scattered storms and showers. This is a live look from our tower camera over downtown Pittsburgh. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Peggy Finnegan.
And I'm Gordon Lesh, and let's get straight to severe weather Team 11 meteorologist Scott Harbaugh with an updated track on the rest of the day. Scott?
Yeah, been a pretty good soaking rain so far today, especially south of Pittsburgh, where we still have some pockets of some moderate rain on Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Notice the break back to the west, but skies are beginning to clear back to the west, too. That's going to help to prime the pump and get those showers and thunderstorms reforming later today. The rain has kept the temperature down 52 degrees right now. We'll bubble into the 60s this afternoon, and notice the scattered thunderstorms start to develop again late in the day. I'm putting together a new storm tracker right now to update the timing on when you'll see the strongest storms and what I think the biggest impacts will be through the night tonight. I'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Breaking right now, Allegheny County just announced 2 more deaths from the coronavirus.
And there are also 47 more cases since yesterday. That brings the county total to 689. Of those, 101 have been hospitalized. The death toll in Allegheny County now stands at 6. We know the numbers that are rising seem alarming, but it's important to remember in comparison to the county population, only 0.6 of a percentage point of residents have tested positive. That's based on last year's census estimate.
And we've gotten a lot of questions about where these patients are located. The county has been updating this map daily. You can see the highest concentration of cases is in the city of Pittsburgh. We expect to get updated numbers on our other local counties in just a few minutes later in this newscast.
A big announcement from Highmark Health this morning. AHN plans to start sterilizing and reusing those critical N95 masks at its hospitals. The process was just approved by the Centers for Disease Control, and we're told AHN can sterilize thousands of masks per day, making more of them available to healthcare workers right away. Highmark says the process involves the same sterilization equipment used on surgical tools. We'll be working to learn more about this throughout the day. We'll have an update for you tonight starting at 5.
The Brighton Rehab and Wellness Center nursing home in Beaver County is now presuming all staff and residents may be positive for coronavirus. The facility says it's continuing to isolate and aggressively treat those who have symptoms. The latest numbers we have show that 52 people have tested positive for COVID-19, 42 residents and 10 employees, and there are 3 confirmed deaths at the facility.
Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto wants to extend his disaster declaration until early May. According to the Trib, he has already asked City Council for approval. Council is expected to meet today and approve the extension until May 5th. The declaration was first issued March 13th. It allows the city to approve emergency contracts and spending right away. You'll see some big changes the next time you go to Giant Eagle. The company will now be limiting the number of shoppers in stores at the same time. That's in an effort to keep everyone healthy. Channel 11's Mike Holden talked to customers about the new rules.
Retailers and grocers like Giant Eagle right here behind me are taking absolutely no chances when it comes to your safety as well as worker safety. They're rolling out new guidelines that you'll notice as soon as you enter the doors. Mask after mask after mask. It is the new normal for the vast majority of the shoppers we spotted outside of the Giant Eagle Waterworks. Giant Eagle is aware of the concerns over the spread of the coronavirus, so they are strictly enforcing the number of people who can be in the store at the same time. All locations will only allow up to 50% occupancy. The grocery store is providing personal protective equipment to its workers. They also will shift to using every other register when they can. And over at Walmart, they started reducing the amount of customers inside as well. A Channel 11 camera captured this caution tape where shoppers will line up when business peaks. Walmart says no more than 5 customers are allowed per 1,000 square feet inside the store at any given time. And all shoppers are only allowed to enter through one set of doors and leave out another. Folks we spoke with say they're doing their part to flatten the curve and support these measures.
Well, it just makes sense. And the more we put up front here to protect people, the sooner this is going to get over with. It's that simple.
Get in and get out, and keep the lines down, and be courteous of other people.
And major retailers like Giant Eagle say they will be focused on extra cleaning and sanitizing efforts. Coming up on Channel 11 News at 5, we're diving deeper into the social distancing aspect, how shoppers are protecting themselves, as well as how workers are enforcing it. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
New at noon, a crew member on board a U.S. Navy ship meant to help in the coronavirus response has tested positive. The crew member is isolated away from everyone else and reportedly had no contact with patients. The USNS Comfort is docked in New York City to help overwhelmed hospitals there. Originally, the plan was to keep it for non-COVID patients, but Governor Cuomo said we need the beds for the pandemic.
As the country braces for the peak of the coronavirus pandemic, the president is defending the administration's response.
NBC's Tom Costello has new information from an internal government watchdog that paints a devastating picture.
A new definition of our new normal.
If back to normal means acting like there never was a coronavirus problem, I don't think that's going to happen. If you want to get to pre-coronavirus, you know, that might not ever happen in the sense of the fact that the threat is there.
As the nation faces a critical stretch in the battle against the coronavirus.
The next week and a half is going to be a big surge, the professionals tell us.
A new Inspector General watchdog report finds hospitals nationwide are facing shortages of critical medical gear. And many states are warning their hospitals will run out of personal protective equipment within days. Meanwhile, many small business owners are struggling to obtain loans promised under the $2 trillion relief package, as both technical glitches and sheer demand have overwhelmed the Small Business Administration. The president signaling the initial $350 billion earmarked for the plan may not be enough.
We're going to have to probably add more money to this to save and to keep our small businesses going and to keep the employees of those small businesses working.
Meanwhile, the New York Times is reporting that in late January, senior White House trade advisor Peter Navarro warned about the coronavirus and the looming threat to the American public. Navarro wrote on January 29th, quote, "The lack of immune protection or an existing cure or vaccine would leave Americans defenseless in the case of a full-blown coronavirus outbreak on U.S. soil. This lack of protection elevates the risk of coronavirus evolving into a full-blown pandemic, imperiling the lives of millions of Americans." That was at about the same time the president was suggesting this was all a hoax. The next day, the president did begin the travel restrictions on China. I'm Tom Costello, NBC News. Back to you.
President Donald Trump and presidential hopeful Joe Biden have been in touch by phone about COVID-19. Biden's team said they had a good call, and the former VP gave several suggestions. President Trump said it was a wonderful and warm conversation. Biden has criticized the president's handling of the outbreak, saying it was too slow, but he did reverse his criticism of the president's ban on travel from China earlier this year.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson remains in intensive care while he battles COVID-19. The 55-year-old announced he tested positive on March 27th and has had persistent symptoms since then. He was admitted to the hospital Sunday and moved to the ICU yesterday when his symptoms got worse. We're told he remains conscious, but Britain's Foreign Secretary is in charge if any decisions need to be made for the country.
Carnegie Mellon University has teamed up with Facebook to forecast the spread of the coronavirus. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer explains what people can expect to see on their new news feeds.
A lot is, of course, still unknown about the coronavirus, and so Facebook has launched a number of tools to try to find out more information about COVID-19. One of those tools, a survey involving a partnership with Carnegie Mellon. If you've logged onto Facebook recently, you may have seen this, a survey request to help researchers track COVID-19. Researchers from right here in Pittsburgh. The initiative is being led by Carnegie Mellon's Research Center with Ryan Tibshirani at the helm, explaining in a video interview with Channel 11 that responses received will help forecast what's to come with the coronavirus. Those who agree to take the survey are asked a series of questions, including whether they or anyone they live with has had symptoms in the last 24 hours.
Our goal is to make forecasts of hospitalization for every county. That's quite an ambitious goal, but for every county in the United States. And what we're trying to do is get data at one level below hospitalizations, which is kind of latent infection. How many people actually have symptoms, not even, let's say a positive test, but just self-reported symptoms.
Not everyone may see the survey link right away, but officials say the goal is to get millions of responses each week, and they say your privacy is protected. I'm going to talk more about that in a report tonight at 5. Back to you.
Some good news for truck drivers and other essential workers on the highways. PennDOT has reopened indoor facilities at 5 more rest areas, including on I-79 East in Washington County. The rest areas were temporarily closed in response to the coronavirus. We're told the facilities will be cleaned and maintained regularly.
New at noon, local organizations are teaming up to donate 3,000 laptops to Pittsburgh public school students who are learning remotely. The goal of Beyond the Laptops Challenge is to buy and fix up the computers using donations. The groups have already raised more than $150,000, and if you are interested in donating, we posted the link at WPXI.com.
Congressional leaders in the White House are moving forward with next steps after worrying $2 trillion isn't enough to help Americans. Channel 11's Jacqueline Fell has more on what a new $1 trillion deal could look like.
Congressional leaders are divided on what they should do next. Democratic lawmakers say they're eyeing a new emergency relief package to help Americans deal with the economic fallout from the coronavirus. It would include another round of stimulus payments and added unemployment benefits and small business assistance. There's also a proposal for hazard pay for people still working during this pandemic. Senate Republicans are advocating for a more cautious wait-and-see approach, as the first round of checks have not even made it to Americans yet. The White House says those direct payments are days, if not weeks, away. The president has signaled support for a lot of the ideas coming out of Congress. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
A home burglarized in the middle of the afternoon while the family was out for a walk. What was stolen that police say is really a first for them?
And take a look at all those 3D printers. They all belong to one man. How he's using his hobby to help fight coronavirus.
A couple rounds of showers and thunderstorms on the way. I'm tracking when the strongest storms arrive in your neighborhood.
It's the Jeopardy! College Championship. Competing today.
FSU.
Yale.
Florida.
Presented by Lending Tree. Jeopardy! Tonight at 7, followed by Wheel of Fortune. For the Pennsylvania Lottery is Channel 11. You can only see the lottery drawings on Channel 11 right before Jeopardy and at 11:11 on Channel 11 News. The Pennsylvania Lottery is on Channel 11. Channel 11 News 11 at 11. 11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
A local man is putting his 3D printers to work in an effort to meet the need for masks. And this isn't even what he does for a living. Channel 11's Kara Sapita found out how and why he put his hobby to work.
I know there's a lot of people out there looking for ways to help. Today I interviewed this man. He's an IT worker. His hobby is 3D printing, and he is using that hobby and his time, resources, and money to print masks, just like the one you see here on my cell phone, and give them to healthcare workers.
I'm getting a lot of thank yous and God bless yous.
Pete Jacklich has been playing around with 3D printers for a year inside of his Bell Vernon home. What was a hobby has turned into a way for him to help people on the front lines fighting the coronavirus. He's now using his 3D printers to make these masks to give to healthcare workers.
I've had them running 24/7 since I started this.
Pete is using a model from Rowan University's College of Engineering, where the medical school asked them for help with the shortage of masks. Engineers worked day and night to come up with this cup-shaped mask printed from spools of plastic fitted with a removable filter. They then released the blueprint for anyone with a 3D printer and a desire to help. So how many have you made total so far?
I have 6 dozen out the door. I have a dozen waiting to go.
Pete took to Facebook asking if anyone needs a mask and already has 100 orders. How much are you charging people?
Nothing. I'm donating everything.
Pete just purchased 2 more 3D printers to keep up with demand. He will have 6 printers working around the clock and plans on donating every mask.
There's no value you can put on human life. I mean, I'm an asthmatic, and there's really not much I can do to help. So from here, I can do this.
Now, a Rowan University spokesperson told me today that their masks are not a replacement for N95 masks, but they do offer more protection than a scarf, a bandana, or even a paper surgical mask. Reporting tonight, I'm Kara Sapita for Channel 11 News.
A local home burglarized, but the crooks were not after big-ticket items. Instead, something much more valuable these days, toilet paper and cleaning supplies.
Our sanitizer was gone, our cleaning disinfect stuff was gone, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
The Beachview family went for a walk last week, and when they returned, they noticed the back door was open. The family was shocked to see their closet full of essentials was just cleaned out.
It's a tough time, but if they needed something, even if we didn't know who they were, right, all they had to do was ask. Yeah. Especially for toilet paper.
Pretty strange. The family says they usually buy extra supplies to share with neighbors in the food bank, and once they get everything they need again, they plan to continue helping their community.
The push to get medical supplies to our area hospitals is now getting some extra support. Right now, leaders from across the country say states and hospitals are in bidding wars with each other to get critical supplies. The need for masks and gloves also continues to grow. So the State National Public Interest Research Group started a petition. 113 mayors signed it.
I can tell you the EMS services, many of them are very short in supply of some of these critical needs, and so we've been sharing with each other, trying to make sure we have enough.
The mayors want the president to put a person in charge of overseeing the purchase and distribution of medical equipment nationwide. They also want a task force created to ramp up production.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Right now, storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. We still have some showers rolling through the area, and some of these showers have produced some pretty good amounts of rain across the area over the last couple of hours, especially to the south of Pittsburgh right now. As we go through the next couple of hours, you'll see that rain continue to basically die off to the southeast, and then we'll get a little bit of a break for a while as we go through the course of the afternoon. That's going to allow the sun to pop out. That will destabilize the atmosphere. That will get more thunderstorms cranking this afternoon. Live look at our PennDOT cameras right now. I-79, Route 19, wet roadways, Parkway North, Camp Horn Road, rain-soaked roads. Notice the visibility down just a little bit. We still have those light showers out in most of the area, and this extends all the way down to Perrysville on the Parkway North. There's another look at live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. Rain showers east and south of Pittsburgh. Some heavier rain once you get into the mountains of Preston County and Garrett County. Upstream, there is a break, and then more showers are going to start to form. And then as we go through the afternoon, going to kind of pop the cap. The cap is what keeps the atmosphere stable. We're going to get a little bit of lift during the afternoon. That's going to take this clearing here. And once we warm up a little bit, the air destabilizes a little bit. We'll start to pop some thunderstorms this afternoon. Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has much of our area under the risk for scattered severe thunderstorms through tonight. That means that as thunderstorms develop, several of them could develop severe characteristics. That would be winds in excess of 58 miles per hour and or large hail of at least 1 inch in diameter. And some of these storms could produce some pretty big hail this afternoon. Here's Storm Tracker at 2 o'clock. Showers coming through the area. Then notice the break for much of the area at 5 o'clock. We are popping a couple thunderstorms up along the I-80 corridor. Now, I think this is placed a little too far to the north. I will be getting updated Storm Tracker in the next half hour, so I'll have it for you coming up at about 12:45. But I've got a feeling this is going to put this a little more to the south and southwest in the late afternoon. Then spotty stuff this evening. We're actually quiet for much of the evening. Here comes our little weak front overnight. And I say weak because it's weak in the sense that there's not a big temperature swing, but look at the thunderstorms along the I-80 corridor at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock into the Pittsburgh area. By the time we hit the air tomorrow morning on Channel 11 Morning News at 4:30, they're already down toward Morgantown, long gone by 6 a.m. and just a stray shower during the day tomorrow. Again, some of the strongest storms, wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, 1 inch or larger hail. Now, there'll be a couple of those that try to form this afternoon. There'll be more overnight tonight with that line of storms coming through. Then a thunderstorm early tomorrow, 68 for the high temperature. Much cooler second half of the week. Rain showers Thursday, 51. Friday, stuck in the mid-40s all day. And then over the weekend, 50 degrees on Saturday, 57 for Easter Sunday with a couple showers in the afternoon.
Well, here's something fun to do, all while remaining properly socially distant from each other. Tonight's full moon will be the biggest of the year. April's full moon is called the super pink moon, but don't plan on seeing the moon actually look super pink. According to the Farmer's Almanac, the moon will be its usual golden color before fading to a bright white. If you want to check it out, the moon will look biggest around 10:30 tonight. The next super moon is on May 7th.
Coming up, how the FBI says a local man got caught up in a multi-million-dollar international coronavirus scheme.
Plus, here's a real sign of the times, what PennDOT had to say about a homemade sign put up on the Pennsylvania border.
Coronavirus can't keep this local teacher from her students. Reading, teaching, and making crafts online. She's finding ways to connect while staying apart.
It's really touching to see someone else care about your child.
Coming together in a time of crisis makes us proud to be from Pittsburgh.
Proud to be from Pittsburgh. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Great cars, great people. For a great deal on a Honda, visit shophonda.com. us on Channel 11. Look for drawings at 7 and 11:11 p.m.
Someone took matters into their own hands, telling non-Pennsylvanians the state is closed as the coronavirus continues to impact our area. Take a look at this sign that was found last weekend. It simply says, "Sorry, we are closed." The homemade sign was placed on the westbound side of Interstate 80 as drivers enter Pennsylvania from New Jersey.
It probably shows how people in the area think after speaking with a bunch of people, and not just from my direct area, but from outside. The concern with, maybe New Yorkers coming in.
Pennsylvania has since taken the sign down.
Amazon workers at a facility in New York City are on strike over coronavirus-related demands. Workers on Staten Island walked out now for the second time in just a few weeks. Workers say the risk of getting COVID-19 on the job there is high, and they say Amazon isn't doing enough to protect them. Strikers want the facility shut down and thoroughly cleaned. They also want paid sick leave so people with COVID-19 symptoms do not feel compelled to come to work.
More stores and businesses are helping out during the crisis. BP says it will give first responders and medical workers 50 cents off per gallon of gas through June 30th. Meanwhile, Domino's will donate 10 million slices of pizza. They will go to hospitals, medical centers, health departments, grocery store workers, school kids, and others in need. All Domino's stores nationwide are expected to be a part of the effort. And if you insure your car through Allstate, you may be seeing a refund. The insurance company says it will return $600 million in premiums to customers under stay-at-home orders. Many Americans are obviously driving a whole lot less, and that means fewer crashes. Most customers, I should say, will receive a refund of 15% of their monthly premium in April and May.
New video at noon of a massive fire at a Florida airport. More than 3,500 rental cars went up in flames last Friday at the Fort Myers airport. The cars were parked in a grassy overflow lot. Look at that. Firefighters have spent almost 18 hours putting out that fire, both from the ground and in the air. No one was hurt. The cause remains under investigation.
Still ahead, are people truly social distancing? The new scorecard giving many of us a poor grade.
A couple rounds of thunderstorms this afternoon, then a big strong line of thunderstorms tonight. I'm updating the impacts you can expect to see in your neighborhood.
When news is happening near you, Channel 11 is there.
Aliquippa, Coraopolis, Moon. We cover news everywhere you live.
That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, Butler. For news from where you live,
watch Channel. The news 11 and 11 means you get 11 minutes of news and weather
Before the first commercial.
It means live coverage of breaking news, local news, and your first look at weather.
All before the first commercial.
Channel 11 News 11 and 11.
Watch tonight.
Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
Well, you'll need an umbrella if you're headed out for the essential activities today.
Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Scott Harbaugh back to time out our afternoons inside. I'm taking it.
At least for part of the afternoon, yeah, because you never know when a thunderstorm is going to pop up. We're going to start to get some clearing skies. Back to the northwest, live storm tracker, Doppler 11 radar, all the rain showers east and south of Pittsburgh right now. And there is some clearing back to the west. That clearing is going to allow the temperature to really start to jump. Atmosphere is going to become a little more unstable. We'll start to pop some thunderstorms later this afternoon. We're only going to make it to about 67 degrees this afternoon. Some areas not even quite that warm. But I am tracking with an updated storm tracker where those strong thunderstorms are going to start to pop. I'll have that for you coming up this half hour.
And breaking now, we just got new numbers from the state health department on the coronavirus. There are now more than 14,500 cases in the state of Pennsylvania, and tragically 78 more people have died. That brings the death toll to 240. Here at home, there are now 116 cases in Beaver County and 3 more deaths. 107 cases in Butler County, 32 in Fayette, 57 in Washington, 177 in Westmoreland County. And you can see the numbers for all our local counties scrolling at the bottom of your screen. A warning today for everyone trying to purchase masks to stay safe. Know who you are buying from.
Yeah, it's the same message the feds are sharing with hospitals in Pittsburgh after a multi-million-dollar scheme targeting our healthcare system. Channel 11's Amy Hudak explains.
Top federal investigators in Pittsburgh stopped this massive multi-million-dollar scheme targeting a healthcare system in dire need of N95 masks. The middleman, an innocent businessman from McCandless.
I think we're going to see fraud on a scale that we have not really experienced before.
Scott Brady is the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Pennsylvania. He says scammers are desperately trying to capitalize on COVID-19, and he fears this is just the beginning.
We're going to see fraudsters piggyback on, behind that to try to exploit people who are worried, anxious.
On Monday, Brady announced his COVID-19 task force and the FBI in Pittsburgh quashed a huge scheme aimed at defrauding medical giant Kaiser Permanente out of millions. Brady says a man from McCandless thought he was working with a real company in the Middle East and a broker in the Far East to sell 39 million N95 masks to the California-based healthcare system.
What we found out later was that the man from McCandless from Western Pennsylvania was not engaged in fraud, was not trying to defraud anyone. He thought he had a legitimate business opportunity.
It was a tip on the hotline dedicated to COVID-19 fraud that unraveled that scam.
We had information that there were masks that were being stored in Georgia, millions of masks being stored in Georgia.
The company in the Middle East wanted Kaiser Permanente to pay 40% up front for millions of masks, and alarm bells sounded.
When we dug into that, we realized that all of it was fraudulent. The masks never existed. The money would have just disappeared to not only protect the man from Pittsburgh, but more importantly, protect the healthcare system in California from spending millions of dollars on masks that never would have been delivered.
Because of the shortages of PPE in hospitals around the country, Brady's office is now working closely with UPMC and Highmark's fraud departments to ensure they don't become targets.
We want to know what they're seeing, if they're being defrauded or their patients are being defrauded in any way.
Western Pennsylvania had the first COVID-19 task force and the first hotline set up in all of the country. You can imagine the number of tips that came in. Brady's office says so far 80 plus of those tips have been credible. Amy Hudak, Channel 11 News.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says social distancing is now making a difference in the hardest hit areas of the country, and we're cutting off the stream of people who need the hospital. So if social distancing got a report card here at home, how would we do? Data company Unicast released a social distancing scoreboard and gave the United States overall a D. Unicast uses data from phones to track distance traveled. Pennsylvania got a B around March 16th, but that grade dropped to a C after March 26th. Dr. Fauci also said if we social distance as hard as we can over the next several weeks, we can end up under the predicted 100,000 death mark.
More details now. How did we do in southwestern PA? Well, not great. Allegheny County has had about a 40% drop in mobility, and Westmoreland County has had a drop of about 30%, meaning people in both counties are still moving around quite a bit. There's a drug getting a lot of attention from COVID-19 patients wondering if it could help them. But for some, this medicine has already been called a miracle for other reasons. Channel 11's Ryan Houston explains.
Hydroxychloroquine, better known by its brand name of Plaquenil, is now front and center of the coronavirus pandemic. President Trump calling it a game changer, but it's already a part of Alexa Burke's daily life.
It has helped a ton. I don't have any of those bumps and pains anymore. I was having all kinds of hip pains, and I was tired all of the time, and I don't have any of those anymore.
She has an autoimmune disease and says this medicine is helping her to live a normal life.
Right now they're calling it an undifferentiated connective tissue disorder, which essentially is saying, my body, my immune system is attacking itself.
And now Burke is worried about all the new interest in her medicine.
I haven't had any issues yet getting the medicine, but I am afraid that in the near future I will have some troubles because there's so many people that have COVID-19.
She could be on to something. In March, the Federal Drug Administration posted details about shortages of hydroxychloroquine due to a surge in demand. The FDA writes it's working with manufacturers to assess their supplies.
It does concern me a little bit because I know there are so many people that are on, this medication, and it treats more than just one disorder.
It's used to treat malaria, lupus, and rheumatoid arthritis, and in some severe cases now COVID-19. But for Burke, she's hoping whatever happens, people who were already using the medicine will still have access to it.
I just think it's important that us people who do take it are able to get that supply because it really does make a difference.
Ryan Houston, Channel 11 News.
The Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium is furloughing nearly a third of its staff. The care for the animals will not change. Veterinarians and staff will still be on site while keeping the necessary safety protocols in place.
You may have seen this. A tiger at the New York Zoo tested positive for coronavirus. The USDA says it's likely the tiger was infected by a zoo employee. It says some pet owners concerned about their dogs and cats. But Peggy, right now there are no reports of pets becoming infected.
Yes, but the government is still urging anyone with symptoms like a fever or cough to limit contact with pets, just like you would with humans. And the American Veterinary Medical Association is working with agencies like the CDC to monitor the virus as it spreads.
In the big picture right now, this is a very small footnote to it, but it's something that we will continue to observe.
And if you have a sick pet, you're being told to call your vet first. Many are offering different options for office visits in order to keep everyone safe.
This local healthcare system says they're ready for a surge in cases. The critical services they're ready to provide.
I'm Lisa Robertson, and we're launching a special version of Local Steals and Deals, shining a spotlight on small businesses. They're the backbone of America, and we need them to thrive now more than ever. Join us in making a difference. Text USA to 65,000 to learn more.
News is happening in your neighborhood. Channel 11 News is there.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, and Butler. We cover news everywhere you live, not just downtown. We're in Aliquippa, Coriopolis, and Moon.
Bringing you stories that impact your town. That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
More local news from more neighborhoods. That's a fact. We're in Bethel Park, South Park, and Mount Lebanon. When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News.
Lisa Sylvester on Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
Officials with the Butler Health System say they're ready for a surge in patients. According to Butler Radio, officials have plans in place. All ventilators, critical care, and beds are available, and there's a plan to expand if needed. They also have a nearby elementary school and surgery center ready as backup facilities. The hospital says their supply of protective gear is okay right now, but they will continue to take donations.
Meanwhile, Butler County Emergency Services is being proactive by setting up these stations to protect their employees. The backup stations are set to be used if someone in the communications room gets sick. Then that room would need to be sanitized, so employees handling 911 calls would go to those backup stations until the all clear is given.
If you're experiencing fear, anxiety, stress, or loneliness, Allegheny County wants to let you know there are resources available. You can get help through the Peer Support and Advocacy Network or Resolve Crisis Services. Both numbers are on your screen. Also, mental health care can be found through the Disaster Distress Hotline. That number is also on your screen. All of these services are free.
After the break, 11 investigates the accuracy of coronavirus tests and the message coming from doctors.
Tests with some inaccuracy is better than no test at all.
What changed with the newest tests that could be throwing them off?
Plus, some updating storm tracker to pinpoint when the strongest thunderstorms are going to come through your neighborhood.
This is Channel 11 News 11 at 11. Accurate details, experienced coverage, trusted weather source.
Heavier snowfall moving through Westmoreland County.
All in the first 11 minutes of our newscast. Count on Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
We're a team you can count on to cover stories that impact your life.
Whether it's across the street or around the world.
Channel 11 News at 6.
And NBC Nightly News at 6:30.
When you want news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
11 investigates the accuracy of coronavirus testing. The FDA has approved more than 24 different tests. But we have learned all those approvals have come with a price. Channel 11's Aaron Martin dug into what's causing problems with the accuracy of these tests.
UPMC processes around 500 coronavirus tests per day, including at sites like right here in the South Side. But one of the questions that is occurring nationwide is if some of those negative tests are actually positive, something that medical experts are now concerned is happening. With more than 12,000 confirmed cases in Pennsylvania alone, it's clear the coronavirus is spreading rapidly. That doesn't include the possibility some of those tests are not showing an accurate result. Very early research from China found the most common common coronavirus tests could give false negative results around 30% of the time. It's why doctors are now telling patients to self-isolate, even if they test negative, until their symptoms are gone.
There are cases in which every test misses people who actually have the disease. So you should, even if it's just a flu, still stay away from people.
Part of the issue surrounds how many tests are out there. According to the FDA, 28 diagnostic coronavirus tests have been approved, with the agency relaxing standards to make more tests available quickly. Some of those approvals have only taken a day, much faster than the typical process.
I certainly have never seen anything like it.
Duquesne University professor Allison Colbert specializes in public health. She says the rapid spread of coronavirus has forced medical experts to weigh the cost-benefit of approving tests before they've been fully vetted.
By all accounts, the benefit here is the more information we can have about the spread of this disease, the better.
While the results of a coronavirus test are critical to track the spread, it has little impact on how patients are treated.
We aren't waiting to start medications for a test result. It's not like when we pick the right chemotherapy for cancer.
We also reached out to the Pennsylvania Department of Health to ask about their testing. A spokesman says that they don't have any data at this point since they are using tests given to them by the federal government. However, they also have no concerns about that testing accuracy. Reporting tonight in the South Side, Aaron Martin, Channel 11 News.
And new research is being done right here in western Pennsylvania. It is looking at how our bodies respond to COVID-19. Scientists at UPMC are looking at our blood, hoping to find COVID-19 antibodies. It could show if a person had the infection and recovered without ever showing symptoms. Emergency room doctors say identifying those people is critical.
That means that those individuals who have immunity can then go back to work or can be part of frontline life-sustaining businesses that we all need because they are less likely to get sick.
UPMC is also exploring if the blood from these people can be used to treat infected patients.
Car maker Tesla is revving up work to help with the shortage of ventilators. The company posted this video that shows engineers designing ventilators using car parts. Those parts include what's called a mixing chamber from Tesla's vehicles and a touchscreen from Tesla's Model 3 sedan. Tesla did not say when the ventilators might be ready for production. Tesla joins other car makers that are also making ventilators. We told you about General Motors and Ford doing the same thing, and those two automakers are also making masks.
The rules about how you are able to take money out of retirement accounts have been loosened, but consumer advisor Clark Howard says just because it will be easier to get the money doesn't mean you should.
Ever since people started facing unemployment because of coronavirus, they've been worried about where money's going to come from to live. I've been getting question after question about doing withdrawals from employer-provided retirement plans like 401ks and IRAs. Well, I want you to know there's a special provision in the third stimulus bill that allows you to withdraw money from a 401k or IRA up to a limit that will typically be as much as $100,000 without being subject to the normal 10% penalty that you would pay as a younger worker. So you're able to withdraw the money, pay tax as you normally would, but not pay the 10% penalty. Just because you can, though, doesn't mean you should do this. You should wait and use this only as absolute emergency funding if you need it, if coronavirus unemployment drags on. I'm Clark Howard.
And you can see more from Clark Howard on our streaming app. Just search for WPXI on Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, most areas north of I-70 and west of the mountains getting a little break in the rain, although you folks into Fayette County down along the Mason-Dixon line, still some pretty good rain and more on the way from the west. Here's a live look at Storm Tracker, Doppler 11 radar. Dry skies in the Pittsburgh area right now. And again, there is a gap in the rain shower activity, and then we're already starting to spark a couple flashes of lightning back in the north central parts of Ohio. Here's the visible satellite, and this is key because I want you to see the clearing that's coming in. What that's going to do is jump the temperatures, destabilize the atmosphere a little bit, get the atmosphere primed for those thunderstorms to develop this afternoon. Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has made some changes to the severe weather outlook, upgrading eastern Ohio to numerous severe thunderstorms. It means there'll probably be one round this afternoon, then another round overnight tonight. Rest of us will see some scattered severe thunderstorms. What that means is any thunderstorm that forms, a couple of them will pop the severe limits. Now, to be classified a severe thunderstorm, it either has to have 58-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch hail. Can have both of them, and some of these storms will have both of them this afternoon. 64 for the high temperature with occasional rain and a couple thunderstorms. Here's Storm Tracker 2 this afternoon. Notice the showers are already starting to pop. Maybe a little thunder back through Beaver County, southwestern Lawrence County. As we get into the evening hours, we will get a bit of a break. Keep in mind, Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper will be tracking any storm development this afternoon and this evening. Then what Stephen and I have been talking about back and forth this morning through messaging is this line of thunderstorms that's going to get developed around 1 o'clock in the morning. This is actually going to start this evening back into Michigan. It's in the northern parts of Lawrence County, Mercer County, Venango County at 1 a.m., into northern Allegheny County by 2 a.m., at 3 a.m. already into Westmoreland County, northern Washington County. By the time I hit the air tomorrow morning on Channel 11 Morning News at 4:30, it will already be south of the Mason-Dixon line and continuing to push off to the southeast. Keep in mind, with these storms coming through and these winds potentially gusting in excess of 60 miles per hour, there is the risk of power outages tonight. I'm putting it in the moderate range, which I mean, there will be some neighborhoods that lose some power tonight. It won't be a widespread issue, but definitely there should be some overnight tonight. Thunderstorms very early tomorrow, then just a stray shower during the day. 68 for the high temperature. Much cooler second half of the week. Thursday, off and on rain showers. 51 for the high temperature. Friday, good deal of clouds, not much warmth at all. 46 by mid-afternoon. That's running about 15 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Then as we hit the weekend, a slow warm-up, and I do mean a slow warm-up. Partly sunny skies on Saturday. 50 for the high temperature. A couple afternoon showers for Easter Sunday, but the bulk of Easter Sunday will be dry. Sunday's high temperature, 57 degrees.
Hard to believe it, but Easter is just around the corner, and one shop is selling chocolate bunnies, wearing masks, gloves, even vaccines. And why the chef says his candy, it's more than just a joke.
You hear us say Channel 11 News 11 at 11 all the time.
But this is what it means.
It means you get 11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
It means we deliver breaking news, local news happening now, and details about what's happened since 6.
All before the first commercial.
11 at 11 means I'll track storms and bring you your first look at weather before the first commercial.
Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
11 minutes of news and weather before the first commercial.
Watch tonight.
Stephen Cropper, tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
A
Pittsburgh School is using its resources to help healthcare workers fighting COVID-19. The Western Pennsylvania School for Blind Children sent us this picture of the masks they're making with 3D printers. The cloth filter is placed inside and the masks are sanitized before being sent to hospitals and organizations in need. The school hopes to make 30 to 40 masks a week.
So many good things happening. The owners of Love Pittsburgh are helping people stay connected while raising money for local artists. The company has launched a Sending Love postcard campaign. All you have to do is place an order for one of the 4 Pittsburgh-themed cards. Then Love Pittsburgh will write and mail your postcards. $2 for every postcard sent will go to the Pittsburgh Artists Emergency Fund.
A Greek chef has put a coronavirus spin on Easter candy. He's selling chocolate bunnies wearing edible face masks and gloves. They even have needles to represent vaccines and coronavirus cells made from chocolate and icing. The chef says he made the bunnies to honor doctors on the front lines.
For a good reason. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5 o'clock.
Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
This is Channel 11 News 11 at 11.
11 at 11 starts with team coverage of this breaking story.
Accurate details.
We've been covering this story all night.
Experienced coverage.
Our crew is live in